Unplanned Events of the U.S. Army Backpack Project, presented by Anna P. Deland, Project Manager. Good morning. We're going to talk about a few different key points that have affected this project today. First, we'll go over the overview and get a generalized idea of what we're talking about with the project as to what's needed to be done. Then we're going to go into the unplanned events that have happened, the refrigerator module issue, and the issue with the radio module. And on each of these, we will talk about the affected areas and courses of action that we can take. And then we're going to wrap it up with a recap of everything, and then I will answer any questions you may have. Okay, let's get some background information here. So our overview. The U.S. Army has asked us Super PACs to provide a new backpack product. And in this product, they wanted to have a built-in refrigeration pouch and a radio module. Well, some unplanned events have happened that can affect this project from possibly being completed on time. So we are going to go over those issues that we are currently having on this project. Okay, the refrigerated module issue. Basically, the problem is the module is too large for the pouch that it's designated to fit into. So our course of action with this would be to design a new backpack, because this would have been caught during the design review or the initial product testing phases. So we're still early on in this project, and we haven't started mass production yet. So it's easier for us to design a new backpack than it is and make that pouch a little bit bigger than it is for us to design a new refrigerated module. Okay, areas that will be affected by this project are the budget. This is going to be for the redesign of the backpack and potentially having to buy more raw materials because we are making a larger pocket and we may not have enough in excess to do that with. But then again, it may not affect the budget as far as material costs because there might be enough material to make up for this redesign. It may just not have the same amount of waste. So budget is going to take a little hit on it, but not an overall too big a hit because we did catch this in those initial design phases, which is what they are designed to do. So as far as human capital, what is going to be affected by this is the time that is taken to redesign this backpack. The time that we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out exactly where we can redesign this to make that pouch bigger to fit this refrigeration unit and have the least amount of impact on the amount of materials we need and everything else to try to stay on budget. So the impact on schedule, because this is going to be caught in those initial stages, it's going to actually have very little impact on the schedule of this project, because it's caught early on, and that is what that time frame early on is designated to do, is to catch these type of flaws. So it should have little to no impact on schedule. The only thing that could impact the schedule will also impact the quality, and this could be the supplier issue. Our current supplier cannot meet the new demand that we need for those raw materials, that we're going to need that fabric and stuff to make that pouch bigger, because we will need an excess amount of fabric lining and all the other things that go into expanding that pouch size. So if we can't get that on time, that may affect our schedule, but that's more likely going to affect the quality of our product, because we may have to go with a substandard quality compared to what we were originally doing, because that originally higher quality is unavailable in the amount that we need. So we're going to have to go with a lesser quality. our radio module issue. This one's a little trickier than a pouch redesign. Our subcontractor has shut down. So our course of action with this, when dealing with a situation like this, is to basically we're going to have to find a new supplier who can supply us with that radio module that we need. This is going to have a very high impact on the project in multiple different areas of the project, because this is a key factor in this project. We need to have that refrigeration unit and that radio module unit. At least with the refrigeration issue, we still had the actual module that we needed. Now we don't even have that radio module that we needed, and it's not going to be developed. So now we need to find somebody else who can fit that need that we have and make sure we can get our supplies as close to our timeline as possible. Areas of the project that will be affected by the shutdown of the subcontractor. The budget. Most likely, our funds are already going to be tied up with this subcontractor for these radio modules. So in order to continue funding this project and finding a new subcontractor, we may have to break into contingency funds. So human capital is the next area that will be affected. Mostly it will be affected by the project scheduling team, as they're going to have to work and see how finding this new subcontractor is going to affect the schedule of this project, which leads us into the impact on schedules. There will be a dramatic pushback to the timeline of this project because we do not know when finding a new subcontractor if they are even able to deliver on our timeline, or we may have to push back that timeline and take a subcontractor who can meet closest to our timeline. It all depends on the new subcontractor that we find as to how much our timeline is going to be pushed back. We may have to push back that first delivery, and we may be able to make the second and third on time, or two or all three of those deliveries could be affected by this module, the subcontractor making the module shut down. So the last thing that I want to talk about being affected is the quality. We may have to go with a sub-quality part, not saying it's going to be horrible, but it may not be that same quality as we were getting from that supplier. Or we may have to go with a higher quality. And either way of this, it will affect the project. A higher quality and even a sub-quality that we're going to have to demand on a faster timeline to fit into our timeline for this project, or that higher quality, all of this will affect our budget overall. And because most likely we will be paying more for something that we need expedited, or we may have to go with the top tier quality when we weren't going top tier quality on that radio module. So all of these, the quality is going to affect the budget on that type of stuff because of the amount that we're going to have to spend to it. And that product is also going to, the quality of that product and how we decide to go with that will also affect our timeline. So all of these areas are going to be intertwined, where one has an impact on the next, on the next, on the next, and we won't know all of how any of this is truly going to affect us until we find a new subcontractor to make this radio module for us. All right, to summarize, we went over the overview that this is a backpack project created by Super PACs for the United States Army. So we went over the two unplanned events that have happened to this project. The refrigerated module issue, where the refrigerator module was too large for the pack, and how this affected different areas. And then we went over the radio module issue and how the subcontractor has shut down and how this has affected different areas. And at this point in time, I'm going to open it up. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Everybody have a great day.